everyone, and welcome back once again to TalkMaster English Channel, the place where we learn English slowly, naturally, emotionally, and comfortably through meaningful conversations, real-life stories, and motivational daily experiences that help beginners grow stronger step by step every single day.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom, and today's episode is going to feel especially inspiring, emotional, realistic, and deeply relatable for anyone who has ever dreamed about building a better future through English, little by little.
Because today's topic is not only about learning vocabulary or grammar rules,
It is about dreams,
confidence,
personal growth,
and using simple English to slowly move closer toward the life you truly want.
Exactly. And today's long English conversation podcast is called Simple English for Big Life Goals.
And honestly, I really love this title because many learners secretly believe they must speak perfect English before they can achieve important goals in life.
But that idea is completely wrong emotionally and practically.
Because sometimes simple English is already powerful enough to create opportunities, friendships, confidence, jobs, travel experiences, and life-changing moments.
Very true. Because many people wait too long before using English in real life because they think their level is not good enough yet.
And sadly, while waiting for perfection, they miss valuable opportunities to grow naturally through real experiences and conversations.
But honestly, communication matters much more than perfection in daily life.
Yes, because people connect through emotions, effort, kindness, courage, and honesty far more than through perfect grammar.
And today, we want to show listeners that even beginner English can slowly open meaningful doors in life if you continue practicing consistently and bravely.
Maybe your dream is to travel someday.
Maybe you want a better job.
Maybe you hope to speak confidently with international friends.
Or maybe you simply want to feel proud of yourself after years of self-doubt.
Whatever your goal is, today we want you to understand something deeply important.
Big life goals do not begin with perfect English.
They begin with small, brave conversations repeated daily,
Because confidence grows through action.
not through waiting silently for perfect conditions forever.
And honestly, many successful people began with very simple English too.
They made mistakes.
They felt nervous,
They misunderstood conversations sometimes.
but they continued anyway, little by little.
And over time, those small efforts quietly transformed their lives emotionally and practically.
Today's stories will follow realistic situations where simple English helped create meaningful progress toward larger life dreams.
There will be funny misunderstandings,
Emotional conversations,
awkward moments,
nervous situations.
and beautiful small victories. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Empower English Channel, the place where we learn English slowly, naturally, emotionally, and comfortably through meaningful conversations, real-life stories, and motivational daily experiences that help beginners grow stronger step by step every single day.
Hi everyone, this is Tom, and today's episode is going to feel especially inspiring, emotional, realistic, and deeply relatable for anyone who has ever dreamed about building a better future through English little by little.
Because today's topic is not only about learning vocabulary or grammar rules,
It is about dreams,
confidence,
personal growth,
and using simple English to slowly move closer toward the life you truly want.
Exactly. And today's long English conversation podcast is called Simple English for Big Life Goals.
And honestly, I really love this title because many learners secretly believe they must speak perfect English before they can achieve important goals in life.
But that idea is completely wrong emotionally and practically.
Because sometimes simple English is already powerful enough to create opportunities, friendships, confidence, jobs, travel experiences, and life-changing moments.
Very true, because many people wait too long before using English in real life because they think their level is not good enough yet.
And sadly, while waiting for perfection, they miss valuable opportunities to grow naturally through real experiences and conversations.
But honestly, communication matters much more than perfection in daily life.
Yes, because people connect through emotions, effort, kindness, courage, and honesty, far more than through perfect grammar.
And today, we want to show listeners that even beginner English can slowly open meaningful doors in life if you continue practicing consistently and bravely.
Maybe your dream is to travel someday.
Maybe you want a better job.
Maybe you hope to speak confidently with international friends.
Or maybe you simply want to feel proud of yourself after years of self-doubt emotionally.
Whatever your goal is, today we want you to understand something deeply important.
Big life goals do not begin with perfect English.
They begin with small, brave conversations repeated daily.
Because confidence grows through action.
Not through waiting silently for perfect conditions forever.
And honestly, many successful people began with very simple English too.
They made mistakes.
They felt nervous.
They misunderstood conversations sometimes.
But they continued anyway, little by little.
And over time, those small efforts quietly transformed their lives, emotionally and practically.
Today's stories will follow realistic situations where simple English helped create meaningful progress toward larger life dreams.
There will be funny misunderstandings,
Emotional conversations.
awkward moments,
Nervous situations.
and beautiful small victories that slowly change confidence and self-belief.
Because honestly, many learners underestimate how powerful simple communication can become over time.
Sometimes one short conversation changes your confidence forever.
Sometimes one small opportunity creates a completely new future.
And sometimes one brave sentence becomes the beginning of a life-changing journey.
So today, while listening to this long English conversation podcast, please stop pressuring yourself emotionally to sound perfect all the time.
Instead, focus on communication, courage, and steady progress.
Because fluency is not built in one dramatic moment.
It is built through many small moments repeated consistently.
One conversation at a time.
One mistake at a time.
One brave step at a time.
And maybe today you still feel shy about speaking English publicly.
Maybe you understand more than before, but still fear making mistakes.
Maybe you started learning many times but became discouraged emotionally because progress felt too slow.
If you feel any of those emotions right now, please continue listening carefully today, because these stories were created especially for learners like you.
Because your English does not need to become perfect before your life can start changing positively.
Simple English can already help you grow, connect, travel, learn, and dream bigger little by little.
And honestly, that journey itself can become something beautiful emotionally.
So, wherever you were listening from today, thank you so much for spending this time together with us here on Empower English Channel.
And now,
Let's begin our first motivational story together.
Tom, today I want to begin with a story that completely changed the way I viewed my English ability. Because honestly, before this experience happened, I truly believed my simple English was too weak to help me achieve anything important in life.
I think many listeners probably feel exactly the same way emotionally sometimes.
Yes, because when learners compare themselves to fluent speakers online every day, their own English suddenly feels very small and unimportant emotionally.
That comparison trap damages confidence for so many learners.
Exactly. And at that time, I was searching for a part-time job because I needed extra money and also wanted more real-world experience communicating with people confidently.
That already sounds like an important life step emotionally and practically.
Yes, but honestly, I avoided many job opportunities because I saw basic English communication preferred written in the descriptions.
Ah, so fear immediately appeared before you even applied.
Exactly, because even though the English requirement was simple, my brain automatically imagined extremely difficult conversations with perfect, fluent speakers judging my mistakes dramatically.
Fear loves creating imaginary disasters emotionally before anything even begins.
Very true. And for several weeks, I kept telling myself things like, maybe my English is not ready yet, or maybe I should wait until I become more fluent.
But waiting forever usually delays growth emotionally.
Exactly. And one evening, my older sister finally became frustrated with my endless excuses.
Older sisters often become brutally honest motivational coaches unexpectedly.
Very true, because after listening to me complain for almost 30 minutes, she suddenly looked directly at me and said something that changed my mindset completely.
What did she say?
She said, "Your English does not need to become perfect before your life can improve."
Wow, that sentence feels incredibly powerful emotionally.
It really did, because honestly, I realized I had been waiting for confidence before taking action, instead of understanding that confidence usually grows after taking action.
That mindset shift changes everything.
Exactly. So the next morning, I nervously applied for a small cafe near the train station, even though my confidence still felt weak emotionally.
Were you scared after sending the application?
Terrified, honestly, because the moment I submitted it, my brain immediately started imagining embarrassing interview situations repeatedly.
Such as?
Forgetting vocabulary, misunderstanding questions, saying incorrect grammar, accidentally introducing myself as a potato emotionally.
Emily, why do your imaginary disasters always become strangely dramatic?
Honestly, I have no idea, but fear makes my imagination extremely creative, unfortunately.
So what happened next?
2 days later, the cafe manager called and invited me for an interview the following afternoon.
That must have made your heartbeat emotionally dangerous.
Extremely dangerous, because after hanging up the phone, I honestly sat silently for 5 minutes, staring at the wall like my soul temporarily left my body.
Ah, yes, the classic panic freeze before important situations.
Exactly. And the night before the interview, I practiced possible English questions repeatedly in my room while walking in circles nervously.
What kinds of questions did you practice?
Questions like, tell me about yourself, why do you want this job, and can you communicate with foreign customers?
Those sound manageable, actually.
Yes, but somehow when you practice alone at midnight, even simple questions suddenly feel like final university exams emotionally.
That is painfully relatable for many learners.
Exactly. And the next afternoon, I arrived at the cafe 20 minutes early because nervous people always arrive extremely early emotionally.
Very true, actually.
And while waiting outside, I kept repeating motivational sentences quietly inside my head, like stay calm, speak slowly, and communication matters more than perfection.
Those are actually very healthy reminders emotionally.
Yes, and finally, the manager invited me inside for the interview.
What kind of person was the manager?
Surprisingly warm and friendly, actually, which immediately made the atmosphere feel less terrifying emotionally.
That probably helped calm your nerves slightly.
A little, yes, but honestly, my hands still felt cold and nervous while answering the first few questions.
Did the interview include English conversation?
Yes, and honestly, that was the moment I feared most emotionally.
What happened?
The manager smiled kindly and suddenly asked in English, "Can you help foreign customers if they need simple assistance?"
A very normal and reasonable question.
Yes, but inside my brain, fireworks of panic immediately exploded emotionally.
Oh no.
But somehow, I remembered my sister's words and decided not to chase perfection emotionally during the answer.
Which means you focused more on communication itself.
Exactly. So I smiled politely and answered slowly, "My English is still improving, but I will try my best to help customers kindly and communicate clearly."
Honestly, that answer sounds excellent, emotionally and professionally.
Thank you. And surprisingly, the manager smiled warmly after hearing my answer.
Really?
Yes, and then he said something unexpected that completely changed my confidence.
What did he say?
He said, "Perfect English is less important than a positive attitude and willingness to communicate."
Wow, that lesson is incredibly important for listeners today.
Exactly, because suddenly I realized something emotionally powerful in that moment.
What realization changed you?
I realized my simple English was already useful enough to create opportunities if I stopped underestimating myself constantly.
That emotional realization must have felt freeing.
It really did, and honestly, after relaxing more, the rest of the interview became much smoother and more natural.
Did you get the job eventually?
Yes, and honestly, receiving that opportunity became one of the biggest confidence boosts in my entire English journey emotionally.
Because it proved your simple English already had practical value in real life.
Exactly. And over time, while working there, my English improved naturally through daily conversations with customers little by little.
Which shows that real experience builds fluency much faster than fear and overthinking.
Yes, and honestly, that small cafe job taught me something deeply important about life and language learning.
What lessons stayed with you?
Big life goals do not require perfect English at the beginning.
They simply require courage to start imperfectly.
And honestly, one small opportunity can slowly change your confidence, future, and self-belief more than you ever expected emotionally.
Emily, your cafe interview story reminds me of something that completely changed the way I viewed simple English too. Because honestly, before this experience happened, I believed traveling internationally was something only fluent English speakers could do comfortably.
I think many beginners secretly believe that emotionally.
Yes, because when people imagine international travel, they often imagine fast airport conversations, confusing directions, difficult questions, and embarrassing misunderstandings everywhere.
Which can make beginners feel afraid before they even start planning the trip itself.
Exactly. And honestly, for many years, I kept delaying my dream of traveling abroad because I thought my English level was still too low.
But eventually something changed your mindset?
Yes, because one day I suddenly realized something emotionally important while watching travel videos online late at night.
What realization did you have?
I realized many travelers were communicating successfully using very simple English, basic vocabulary, hand gestures, smiles, and patient communication.
That is actually very true in real life.
Exactly. And honestly, that realization gave me a small amount of courage emotionally.
Enough courage to finally travel?
Yes, although honestly, even after booking the trip, I still felt nervous almost every single day before departure.
Ah, yes, the emotional stage where excitement and panic become roommates inside your brain.
Exactly, because every night before sleeping, I imagined myself getting completely lost somewhere while accidentally ordering 20 bowls of soup instead of asking for directions.
Honestly, your imagination creates very dramatic survival situations.
Fear makes everything emotionally cinematic, unfortunately.
So, where did you travel?
I traveled to Singapore for a short vacation because I wanted to challenge myself emotionally and practice using English naturally in real situations.
That already sounds like a huge, brave step forward.
Honestly, when the airplane landed, my confidence immediately became smaller again emotionally.
Why?
Because suddenly the experience became real instead of imaginary, and hearing real-world English announcements everywhere made me nervous internally.
Sometimes hearing real-world English feels very different from classroom English.
Very different, because at that moment my brain suddenly forgot many simple words I knew perfectly one day earlier.
Beginner English vocabulary always disappears dramatically during stressful situations.
Exactly, and the first challenge happened almost immediately at the airport.
Oh no.
Yes, because I needed to find the train station to reach my hotel, but I became confused after following the wrong signs emotionally.
What did you do?
At first, I walked around pretending I understood everything while secretly feeling completely lost inside.
Ah, yes, the classic confident confusion walk.
Exactly, and after 10 minutes of emotionally pretending to be calm, I finally realized I needed to ask someone for help.
That moment probably felt difficult emotionally.
Very difficult, because honestly, I still feared embarrassing myself while speaking English publicly.
But eventually you asked anyway?
Yes, and surprisingly, the person I asked smiled warmly and listened patiently while I spoke slowly.
What did you say?
I nervously said, "Excuse me, I think my brain is lost together with the train station."
Tom, why do you speak like a dramatic movie character during panic situations?
Honestly, I wanted to say, "I think I am lost," but nervousness created poetry accidentally.
At least your confusion sounded artistic emotionally.
Thankfully, the man laughed kindly instead of looking confused, and then he slowly explained the correct direction clearly.
That must have made you feel relieved emotionally.
Extremely relieved, because suddenly I realized something important.
What realization changed your confidence?
I realized people usually want to help when you communicate sincerely, even if your English is simple or imperfect.
That is such an important lesson for beginners.
Yes, and honestly, after surviving that first conversation, my confidence became slightly stronger during the rest of the trip.
Because every successful interaction builds courage little by little.
Exactly. And throughout the vacation, I kept using simple English for many situations.
Such as?
Ordering food, asking for directions, buying train tickets, talking with hotel staff, and even having short conversations with other travelers.
Were you still making mistakes sometimes?
Absolutely. Many funny mistakes, actually.
Please tell one.
Well, one evening at a restaurant, I wanted to ask for extra napkins politely.
Sounds simple enough.
Unfortunately, instead of saying napkins, my nervous brain accidentally said small blankets.
Did the restaurant think you were preparing for winter emotionally?
Honestly, the waiter looked deeply confused for several seconds while imagining why I needed tiny blankets beside noodles.
What happened afterward?
Thankfully, after awkward hand gestures and emotional mime acting, the waiter finally understood and started laughing warmly.
Honestly, those funny misunderstandings become the best memories later.
Very true, because instead of feeling ashamed, I actually started enjoying those imperfect communication moments emotionally.
That emotional shift is very powerful for language growth.
Exactly, because before this trip, I believed mistakes would ruin experiences completely.
But afterward?
Afterward, I realized simple English can still create meaningful experiences, friendships, adventures, and beautiful memories.
Wow, that is such a motivational realization emotionally.
And honestly, near the end of the trip, something happened that made me almost emotional.
What happened?
While speaking with another traveler casually, they suddenly asked me, "How long have you been living abroad?"
Wait, they thought your English was natural enough that you already lived internationally?
Exactly. And honestly, hearing that question shocked me emotionally because I still viewed myself as the shy beginner inside my mind.
That moment probably showed how much your confidence had already grown naturally.
It really did, because suddenly I realized something deeply important.
What realization stayed with you?
I realized simple English becomes powerful when combined with courage, consistency, and willingness to communicate openly.
Dear listeners, please remember something important from Tom's story today.
Your English does not need to sound perfect before you start exploring bigger opportunities in life.
Sometimes simple English is already enough to help you travel, connect, grow, and experience beautiful new moments emotionally. Tom, your travel story reminds me of one emotional night that completely changed the way I viewed my future and my English journey. Because honestly, before that moment, I still secretly believed my dreams were too big for someone with simple English like mine.
I think many listeners understand that emotional feeling deeply.
Yes, because sometimes learners quietly limit their own dreams because they underestimate themselves emotionally.
Fear often creates invisible walls inside people's minds.
Exactly. And at that time, I was watching many videos online about people achieving exciting goals internationally through English.
Such as,
Studying abroad, working remotely, building businesses online, making international friendships, traveling confidently, and creating content in English.
those dreams can feel both inspiring and intimidating emotionally.
Very true, because while watching those videos, one part of me felt motivated, but another part kept whispering negative thoughts like, people like me cannot do that.
That inner negative voice becomes very dangerous emotionally if we listen too much.
Exactly. And honestly, I became trapped in comparison for several weeks emotionally.
What kind of comparison?
I compared my pronunciation, vocabulary, confidence, and speaking speed to fluent creators online constantly.
Which probably made your own progress feel invisible emotionally.
Yes, and one evening, after practicing English speaking alone in my room, I suddenly became frustrated and emotionally tired again.
Because you felt your progress was still not enough?
Exactly. And honestly, I almost closed my notebook and stopped practicing completely that night.
Wow, that sounds like a very emotional moment.
It really was, because I sat quietly beside my desk, feeling discouraged while rain fell softly outside the window.
Rainy emotional moments always feel extra dramatic somehow.
Honestly, yes. And while sitting there sadly, I suddenly noticed something important on my desk.
What did you notice?
An old sticky note from months earlier that said, "One small step every day still creates a long journey."
Wow, that sentence feels beautifully simple and powerful emotionally.
Yes, and suddenly I started thinking carefully about how much my English had already improved little by little over time.
Even if the progress felt slow emotionally.
Exactly, because before I could barely understand simple English podcasts at all.
But now?
Now I could enjoy long, emotional conversations naturally and even speak for longer periods without panicking immediately.
That is actually huge progress.
Yes, and suddenly I realized something deeply important emotionally that night.
What realization changed you?
I realized I had been focusing too much on how far I still needed to go, instead of appreciating how far I had already come.
That realization can completely transform motivation emotionally.
Exactly. And honestly, after calming down, I opened my notebook again and started writing future goals in English slowly.
What kinds of goals?
Goals like travel confidently, speak without fear, help people using English, and create opportunities through communication.
Those are beautiful and meaningful life goals emotionally.
Thank you. And while writing them, something slowly changed inside my heart emotionally.
What changed?
For the first time, I stopped seeing my simple English as a weakness.
Wow.
Instead, I started seeing it as the beginning of something bigger that was still growing slowly every day.
That emotional shift sounds incredibly powerful.
It really was, because suddenly my dreams no longer felt impossible emotionally.
They simply felt like long journeys requiring patience and consistency.
Exactly. And honestly, from that night onward, I became much kinder towards myself during learning.
Which probably made practice feel more enjoyable and natural too.
Very true, because confidence grows much faster when your mind becomes supportive instead of constantly critical emotionally.
Dear listeners, maybe today your English still feels small inside your mind.
But please remember something important tonight.
Small English skills practiced consistently can slowly create very big life changes.
One conversation can create one opportunity.
One opportunity can change one future.
And one brave decision today can completely transform your life years later emotionally.
Wow, Emily. After hearing all these stories today, I honestly feel emotional. Because every story reminds us that simple English can slowly become something much more powerful than many learners imagine at the beginning of their journey.
Yes, because many beginners believe fluency is the only thing that matters, while forgetting that even simple communication skills can already create confidence, opportunities, friendships, experiences, and meaningful personal growth little by little.
And honestly, I think today's biggest message is very important for anyone who feels discouraged emotionally about their current English level.
Because your life does not need to wait until your English becomes perfect.
Your growth can begin today.
Your confidence can begin today.
Your opportunities can begin today.
Even with simple English.
Especially with simple English practiced consistently and bravely.
Because honestly, most beautiful journeys do not begin with confidence already fully developed.
They begin with uncertainty,
Nervousness,
fear,
mistakes.
and one small brave decision to continue anyway.
And maybe right now, some listeners still feel worried because they think their vocabulary is too small or their grammar is still weak emotionally.
But honestly, communication is not only about difficult vocabulary or perfect grammar rules.
Communication is also about effort,
Warmth,
courage,
smiling through nervous moments,
continuing conversations even after mistakes happen.
and allowing yourself to grow naturally instead of demanding perfection immediately.
Because perfectionism often becomes one of the biggest emotional enemies during language learning.
Very true. Because when learners wait for perfect English before speaking confidently, they often remain silent for years emotionally.
Meanwhile, brave, imperfect learners continue improving through real experiences, little by little.
And honestly, those imperfect experiences often become the greatest teachers emotionally.
The awkward conversations,
The funny misunderstandings,
the nervous first attempts.
the embarrassing mistakes that later become warm memories.
All of those moments quietly build confidence over time.
Because confidence is not created through hiding safely forever.
It grows through action
Repetition.
and emotional resilience.
And honestly, I think many learners underestimate how powerful consistency really becomes over time.
Yes, because small efforts repeated daily can slowly transform someone's entire future, emotionally and practically.
One short conversation every day.
One podcast every night.
One new phrase learned during breakfast.
One brave sentence spoken publicly despite nervousness.
Those tiny actions may feel small individually,
But together, they slowly build fluency, confidence, and personal growth.
and maybe today some listeners still feel far away from their biggest dreams emotionally.
Maybe your dream is traveling confidently someday.
Maybe you want a better career opportunity.
Maybe you want to study internationally.
Maybe you dream about speaking English naturally without fear controlling your thoughts constantly.
Or maybe your goal is simply becoming proud of yourself after years of self-doubt emotionally.
Whatever your dream may be, please remember something deeply important tonight.
Big life goals are usually reached through many small daily actions repeated patiently over time.
Not through one magical perfect moment.
And honestly, your English journey itself is already teaching you important life skills emotionally.
Patience,
Discipline,
courage,
persistence.
self-belief.
And those qualities will help you far beyond language learning itself.
Because learning English is not only about words and grammar.
Sometimes it becomes a journey of personal transformation emotionally, too.
You slowly become braver,
More open-minded,
more confident.
more willing to try new experiences despite fear.
And honestly, that emotional growth may become even more valuable than fluency itself someday.
So tonight, before we finish this episode together, we want every listener to stop underestimating themselves emotionally.
Please stop telling yourself negative stories like, my English is too bad, or I will never improve.
Because growth becomes much harder when your inner voice constantly attacks your confidence emotionally.
Instead, try speaking to yourself with more patience and kindness during this journey.
Maybe instead of saying, I am terrible at English, you can say, I am still learning and improving step by step.
Instead of saying, I am too shy, maybe say, I am becoming more confident little by little every day.
Those small mindset changes can quietly transform your motivation over time emotionally.
And please remember, slow progress is still real progress.
A tree does not grow tall overnight.
And fluency does not appear after one perfect study session,
Growth takes time.
especially meaningful growth.
So please continue practicing patiently even during difficult days when motivation feels weak emotionally.
Because honestly, difficult days are often the moments when true growth quietly develops inside you.
Every time you continue despite frustration, your emotional strength becomes stronger too.
And one day in the future, you may suddenly realize something beautiful emotionally.
Conversations that once felt impossible now feel comfortable.
Situations that once created panic now feel normal.
English that once sounded confusing now feels familiar and natural.
And confidence that once felt far away is suddenly part of your everyday life.
That transformation may happen slowly,
Quietly.
almost invisibly sometimes.
But if you continue consistently, it will happen.
Because every fluent speaker once began exactly where you are now,
Nervous,
unsure,
imperfect.
and afraid of making mistakes.
But they continued anyway.
And you can continue too.
So, dear listeners, thank you so much for spending this long, emotional journey together with us today here on Empower English Channel.
We truly hope these stories gave you comfort, motivation, confidence, and hope for your own future.
And whenever you feel discouraged again, please remember tonight's message clearly inside your heart.
Simple English,
Can create
big life goals.
one small conversation at a time.
Keep learning,
Keep speaking.
Keep believing in yourself, even during slow progress emotionally.
Because your future is already being built quietly through the small efforts you make today.
Goodbye, everyone.
Stay hopeful, stay brave, and continue practicing English every single day, little by little.
We will see you again soon with more emotional stories, more conversations, more laughter, and more motivation together.
Bye, everyone.